Gary DeWaal here, and this is Bridging the Week for December 15th to 19th, and today is December 22nd, 2014. Good morning. System failures caused two affiliated broker-dealers not to perform required anti-money laundering obligations and resulted in fines by the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, while automated trading system malfunctions resulted in fines to three firms by the CME Group. In addition, one clearinghouse says that posting cash with it may soon be costly, while another entity seeks designation with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission to trade and clear options on Bitcoin. Meanwhile, MiFID II and MiFIR inch their way towards implementation in Europe. There was a lot going on last week, so to let you get outside and finish your last-minute Christmas shopping, let's get started. The European Securities and Markets Authority issued its final technical advice and initiated a consultation regarding proposed regulatory and technical standards regarding the rollout of the Markets and Financial Directive, known as MiFID II, and regulation known as MiFIR. Among other matters, ESMA poses pre- and post-trade transparency requirements for equity and equity-like financial instruments by trading venues and investment firms, enhanced transparency regarding non-equity instruments, particularly bonds, derivatives, structured finance products, and emission allowances, trading of derivatives only on certain venues in line with G20 requirements, such as on regulated markets and multilateral or organized trading facilities, position limits and reporting requirements for commodity derivatives, rules impacting algorithmic and high-frequency trading, including definitions and organizational requirements, and non-discriminatory access requirements to trading venues and clearinghouses and benchmarks. ESMA's technical advice also has a number of provisions aimed at enhancing customer protection. These include provisions related to when portfolio managers can receive research from third parties, when investment firms can receive or pay inducements, and disclosure of costs and charges. The technical advice will now be sent to the European Commission for approval, while comments will be received by ESMA on its consultation through March 2nd, 2015. MiFID II and MiFIR are scheduled to go into effect on January 3rd, 2017. Last week, Michael Coscia filed papers in the United States Federal Court in Chicago to have his indictment for spoofing dismissed as a matter of law. In October 2014, Mr. Coscia was indicted for spoofing and commodities fraud related to trading activities from August to October 2011 in 17 different CME Group contracts and 3 ICE Futures Europe contracts. In his papers, Mr. Coscia claimed that the prohibition against spoofing in federal law is, quote, hopelessly vague, and its criminal enforcement would violate his right to due process of law, end of quote. Among his other arguments, Mr. Coscia noted that only after more than 18 months following his alleged wrongful conduct did the Commodity Futures Trading Commission issue a final interpretive guidance regarding the nature of conduct that might constitute unlawful spoofing. The delay, claimed Mr. Coscia, reflected public debate and even some CFTC's commissioner's acknowledgement that the definition of spoofing was unclear and could, on its face, prohibit legitimate conduct. As a result, Mr. Coscia said the indictment, quote, should be dismissed because basic principles of due process do not permit a statute to sweep in a broad swath of conduct without a standard for separating the lawful from the unlawful, end of quote. The CFTC is seeking comments on the application of LedgerX for registration as a swap execution facility and a derivatives clearing organization in order to list and clear fully collateralized, physically settled options on Bitcoin, a type of virtual currency. As proposed, all of LedgerX's participants will solely be self-clearing members that qualify as so-called eligible contract participants. No intermediate clearing through a Futures Commission merchant will be permitted. Before any order of a participant is effectuated, the participant must have all necessary funds in an approved depository account or collateral in the form of the commodity underlying the contract in an account controlled by LedgerX. I presume that's Bitcoins. Among the ultimate owners of LedgerX are Google Ventures 2014, Lightspeed Ventures Partners 9, Paul Chow, who's also the chief executive officer, and James Newsom, former chairman of the CFTC, commented due by January 30th, 2015. 2 Wells Fargo entities registered as broker-dealers, Wells Fargo Advisors and Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, agreed to pay a joint and several fine of $1.5 million related to a breakdown in its customer identification program from October 1, 2003 through October 19, 2012, during which time the firms did not verify the identity of all customers opening the account as required by law. During this period, the firms sometimes used recycled identifiers of old accounts that previously had been closed for new customers. However, the firm's customer identification program system recognized these new customers' identifiers as existing accounts and did not verify their identity. Approximately 220,000 accounts were impacted by this breakdown. FINRA acknowledged that the two Wells-Fargo entities self-discovered and remediated this issue on accounts that were still open when the error was caught, fixed their CIP system, and self-reported the violations to FINRA. ICE Clear US advises clearing members that beginning February 1, 2015, because of charges it will assess on cash balances, quote, in a low or negative interest rate environment, these charges may result in negative returns on cash deposits held by the exchange. Previously, the exchange had assessed an annualized fee on cash balances equal to fees charged by external managers, plus additional basis points based on a sliding scale related to investment return. However, beginning February 1st, the exchange will pay a return on US dollar deposits equal to net interest income earned on the balances, less an external investment management fee, less a flat charge of 5 basis points. This fee will be calculated daily, accrued monthly, and charged or credited on a monthly basis. The exchange will no longer pay any interest on non-US dollar balances and will pass along any charges for negative interest that the exchange assessed on clearing member balances. And finally, firms were sanctioned, in particular 3 firms were sanctioned, by the CME Group related to breakdowns in their automated trading systems. 303 Proprietary Trading agreed to pay a fine of $75,000 related for excessive messages sent by its proprietary trading system during 2 seconds on May 8, 2013. According to CME, 303's failure resulted in over 27,000 resend messages, CME's initiation of a port closure, and the failure of a Globex gateway. CME claimed that 303's failures was caused by its failure to conduct sufficient testing or simulation on its automatic trading system, quote, to ensure its suitability for sending administrative messages on Globex, end of quote. Likewise, Alston Trading was fined $35,000 because its automated trading system entered an, quote, excessive number of order and cancellation messages, end of quote, during 1 hour on October 23, 2012. According to the CME, quote, this repetitive pattern of order entry and cancellation occurred after a software failure which caused one of Alston's several safeguards against excessive messaging to not function as intended, end of quote. Finally, Traditum Group was also sanctioned $35,000 because of the failure of its automated trading system purchased from a third-party vendor that malfunctioned and caused during approximately 2 minutes on November 10, 2011, 3,540 one-lot round-turn transactions in December Canadian dollar futures contracts, quote, a significant volume spike in Canadian dollar during this time period, end of quote. Well, that's it for this week's Bridging the Week. As always, there is more information in each article and more articles on the article version of Bridging the Week on the website. Well, this is likely the last edition of Bridging the Week this year, so have a happy holiday season and New Year's. This is Gary DeWaal. Have a great week and New Year, and ciao!